A town hall, a public official, a space meant for dialogue. Then, in seconds, someone rushes the stage and sprays a substance at Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Security intervenes, cameras capture it, the news cycle spins, and within hours, the moment begins to fade. Not because it wasn't serious, but because it felt familiar. Today, I want to talk about why that reaction matters, not to sensationalize what happened, but to understand what it says about the state of our politics. Here's what we know. During a town hall meeting in Minneapolis, a man rushed toward Ilhan Omar and sprayed her with an unidentified liquid. He was immediately restrained and arrested. Omar was not seriously injured and chose to continue the event.
Please don't let them have the show. Please don't let them have the show. Here is the reality that people like this ugly man don't understand. We are Minnesota strong, and we will stay resilient in the face of whatever they might throw at us. Everybody settle down. I'm going to finish my remarks. It is important for me to continue to lead my Democratic colleagues in demanding her resignation.
Authorities are still investigating the substance and the attacker's motives. That's where the confirmed facts end. And that's exactly where many discussions stop. As if this was an isolated incident, an anomaly, rather than part of a broader pattern. There's a phrase we return to again and again after moments like this: lone actor. It's comforting. It suggests randomness. It reassures us that the system itself is sound. But political violence doesn't emerge in a vacuum. It grows in climates where rhetoric intensifies, trust erodes, and opponents stop being seen as legitimate participants. When public figures are framed not just as wrong, but as dangerous, not just as misguided, but as enemies, the psychological barrier to physical confrontation weakens. That doesn't excuse violence, but it helps explain why it keeps happening. Ilhan Omar occupies a unique position in American politics. To some, she represents progress and accountability. To others, she represents disruption. But notice how often the criticism directed at her moves beyond policy. She is not just debated, she is questioned as legitimate. Not just opposed, she is framed as suspect. That kind of framing matters. History shows us that when individuals are consistently portrayed as outsiders or threats, disagreement takes on a different tone. It becomes less about ideas and more about identity. And when politics becomes identity warfare, the rules change. Civility weakens, restraint erodes. This isn't unique to Ilhan Omar, but it is particularly visible in her case. Perhaps the most revealing response to this attack wasn't outrage, it was indifference. Many people reacted with a shrug. Things are tense. This is just how politics is now. That reaction should concern us. Because when intimidation becomes background noise, democratic participation narrows. People become quieter, more cautious, less willing to engage. And that doesn't only affect politicians, it shapes public discourse as a whole. Democracy doesn't disappear overnight, it degrades slowly, through lowered expectations and normalized aggression. This moment demands something uncomfortable: accountability for language. Disagreement is essential, criticism is necessary. But when rhetoric consistently strips opponents of legitimacy or humanity, it creates conditions where violence feels less unthinkable. You don't have to agree with Ilhan Omar, you don't have to support her policies. But once physical intimidation enters civic life, the damage extends far beyond one individual. The most important question isn't why one man committed an act like this. It's why so many people weren't surprised. Because surprise means standards still exist. And when those standards fade, democracy becomes something we reference rather than something we practice. Moments like this aren't just incidents, they're warnings. And warnings only matter if we're willing to take them seriously.